Hi, everyone.
Hello,
Hello.
Diana.
Hello,
Hello.
Diana.
Welcome
I'm so
back.
sad. Today's the last day.
I know today is the last day.
I'm sad.
Yeah.
So I did a little bit of work in my Dreamweaver,
hmm Okay. And
and so I tried a few images, and my
Mhm.
question is, so they all were in the root folder. You know, the images I tried but didn't use.
Mhm.
Is it okay to have so many images that I haven't used?
At first, when you're playing around with your website and you're trying to figure out, yeah. But once you know which ones you're going to use, then you can get rid of the ones you're not going to use.
Oh, but
Okay.
as far as server is concerned, is it okay for server?
Well, when it's here in your computer, it's not on the server yet. So here it's okay if you are testing, like we brought in 3 or 4 different backgrounds. So
Mhm.
it's okay to have 3 or 4 different backgrounds in there while you're tearing it out. But once you decide the background you want, then at that point, you should get rid of the rest before it goes up to the server. When you're up in the server, it should only have the ones you want. It's not going to hurt it tremendously if there are other photos in there. It's just unnecessary. Like, why would you have a photo you're not going to use?
Right.
Because things could get confused at some
Mm.
point, and your website takes more space on their servers. The more space you take, they might get to the point where it tips over and they charge you more, etc., etc. No,
Oh,
having an extra photo up there isn't going to be huge, but ideally you would only have, once you transfer your website to the server, the person, the host you're paying to actually offer that website out to the world, they should only have the actual files. Anything extra won't be it won't be a problem. It's just like having a ghost image there. Why have it? Like, it's more websites, more space you're using on their server that is unnecessary. If there's a chance you're going to flip from one to the next, then definitely have it up there. But if you know you're not using it, like, no, I hated the star background, I'm going to go with the flower background. Well, then just don't send them the flower background. Now you can have a folder called test images or source images, or possible images for the website,
Mhm.
all there. And then when you're ready to truly send it, give it to the host who's gonna have these files uploaded on their server. You should only upload the ones that you're truly using,
Mhm.
as a common sense thing. Like, the rest is just useless.
So more files you have in your root folder, more they charge?
No, not necessarily. They charge more for it depends on who you are using, but it's more about how many people are coming to your website, how many times they need to actually serve your website to others, how many hits you're getting.
Mhm.
That tends to be more. But if you have 2 pages on your website versus 200 pages on your website, there will also be a different charge. Right. So it depends on how big or how complicated your site is, how often they need to be. But it also relates to, if you have 200 pages, you're probably getting a lot more hits than if you have 2, right? So I think it's kind of interrelated, depends on the host that you're checking out.
Interesting. Yeah.
But beyond who the server is or isn't, just having stuff that you don't need doesn't make sense for the page. You should keep that final website folder, the one that's going up, pretty clean. Which, if we left the different backgrounds that we brought in the other day, those are still there, in mine at least. I imported 3, I think, different backgrounds. Those should be something that once I choose which one, I should definitely get rid of the others. Okay.
Okay. Thanks.
So yeah, I don't remember right now. I just opened it and I don't remember the names of them, but I remember I wasn't happy with the one I ended up having. I just downloaded 2 or 3 without paying attention. And I did ask you as homework to try and go and find some things that really worked a bit better. And so thank you for doing that. And if anyone else did a little bit more, I'd love to see what you guys worked on.
Yeah.
today or over this weekend. So
I added a few things.
cool. So do you want to share so that we can see?
Sure. Let me open
And
it.
anyone else who is willing to share, this would be a really good time. Okay, but go ahead, Mira, share your screen.
Let me open my Dreamweaver.
Okay, so while you're doing that, is anyone else ready to share a little bit of what they did to their site? I mean, I just asked you to try and add something that you liked in the background, or at least if you saw any changes, choose a font that you thought was prettier. Right now, we've been just kind of throwing stuff at it. But if you had made any particular choices, or if you're doing tests on a side website while you're doing this one for us, to play around with it. I know that sometimes you guys do that, and Chris sometimes shares her, she's moved forward on other stuff. If you have anything like that you want to share with everyone that you've been doing.
Okay, I'm ready.
All right, Mira, go for it.
Oh,
Looks like you're the one brave
it's nothing
soul.
like a grade. It's just little.
No, but I just said, I didn't ask for grade. I asked for some changes, something different, some of your own.
Something different, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Can you see it?
Yes, I can. All right, so hold on.
So here, something.
I need to, hold on, because I am not seeing, 1 second. I am seeing it on the other screen, but not on this screen. And I'm kind of, here we go. The other screen that I'm seeing it on was so tiny, I needed to bring it to this one. Okay. Cool.
So navigation bar, I did this right here.
Oh, and look at that. You gave it a little outline and some gray. You gave it, is that border within borders? What did you do there? Or is it a graphic? Or borders and padding?
No, it's a graphic and then border.
Okay. So which one's the graphic?
The color.
This color thing is a graphic.
I could have chosen just a color, but.
Okay.
And here I added.
And then here you put a little image to the background of your title.
And I added this thing right here.
A little list. Okay, cool. All right.
And here I did this.
And you gave it a border too, I can see.
Yeah.
That gray border.
So I did give a border and I reduced the padding.
Okay, cool. Can you scroll up to the very top again a little bit? And then I see you chose a gray brick background. And to the very, very top, today we're going to work more with, keep going up, with this nav item. So we're going to bring some stuff in to make a navigation that's going to be responsive. So if you want to do a save as and create another version so that you can play, so that you don't lose this that you did, because we might mess this up by doing the other one. And I want you to keep this because it's looking great, but I want you to give me another one so that we can play around and mess around, because you might end up undoing a lot of the stuff and I don't want you to lose what you did do.
So save as here?
Yeah.
And then what?
And then go ahead and call this one index 2 or something, and then our index class, it's not necessarily kosher, but just for class. You would only have normally one index, okay? But I want to, yeah. Or you know what? Call this one index dash Mira. So go ahead and take the index dash without spaces. Remember, you never want a space, dash Mira. And then say save. Okay, great. And now go ahead and up at the top, you have the index open and the index Mira. So go ahead and close the index Mira on the left, right about, yeah. See how you say index HTML and index Mira? See you have both open?
Oh.
Close that one. So you save what you've done. Okay. Yeah, perfect. And then on this one, we're going to play around with that, with the stuff up there, so that if we end up messing up what you did, I might have you take some of this, you know, the stuff you did in the nav bar. At least you have the one that you made where you did what you put in there, and you don't lose that, because I will definitely bring in a different nav bar for us today. That way you can then recreate it. Okay.
So this was my question. I have all these extra images so it's okay for now.
Well, it's okay for now, but the where they are bothers me because they shouldn't be here. They should have been in the images folder.
They are also in images folder.
And they're not. So see your images folder there is closed. If you go to the images
Oh.
folder and open it up by putting that little twirl. Yeah. So that's your images folder. So if you drag all these into the images folder, then at least they're in the right place where images should be. And then when you go ahead and decide which ones you want, you can get rid of the rest, but they shouldn't be here at the same level as index. So grab them. You can grab them one by one if you want and just drag them in and drop them into the images folder. So go take it and no, that's not the images folder. The images folder.
Here.
Yeah, that one. Yeah. So drag it into that one. There you go. So
it is just as the file management, right? Other than that,
it's
okay.
Exactly. It's file management. Oh, go ahead. Wait, you on the left, you're saying update files. Please say yes, update, because it's saying we're changing, where certain links are, and it's saying, do you want me to update? So say update again, because the ones that you did use, it's asking you to update. The ones that you didn't use, it doesn't care. But the ones that you did use, it's saying, okay, update, please. Because now in the code, if somewhere it referred to the files as being outside of the folder, now it's going to have to refer to them as being inside the folder. Okay. So that's why you had to do that update. Okay, awesome. Thank you. And then, so go ahead and stop sharing. Thank you for doing that, Mira, and thank you for sharing with us.
Thanks for your comment.
You're welcome. So there you go, pushing the envelope a little bit. Sometimes you guys, when you share your screens with me, I see you've pushed the envelope quite a bit, and that is perfect. That's what I want you to do, to learn to do your own. But if no one else has anything they want to share, anyone else want to share? Okay, Chris, yeah, go ahead. Yours is always, you always do other stuff. Go ahead. Okay, so here comes Chris's. Perfect. I need to do the same thing. I need to make it bigger for me to see it on the screen. All right, so tell us what you've been doing up at the top. Go ahead,
Joe. So I kind of took the the base website that we did, and because I've been wanting to make my own website as like a profile website, and I was like, well, the one that we made was a good base, and so I just started doing stuff with it, putting one of the pictures that I took in the background.
Is that in your header? Where is that picture in right now?
It's in my header, but I made it like a div with the class the hero image. Is what I called it.
That's fine. That's great.
Because I was like, oh, I want the text on it, and so I wanted this like sort of background thing on.
Great, wonderful. And then it looks like you put a white background to it, but you gave it some transparency, right? You added color. Is it originally white or is it gray, or what color did you choose that then you gave it transparency?
Let's see. I think it was just.
It looks white, but depends on white with the transparency, and you can just go check it.
Oh yeah, it's down here. I was like, where'd it go? Yeah, it's just white.
Yeah,
for some reason.
White.
Oh,
2020,
okay.
2020. And so, guys, can you highlight the whole background color line so they can see? Okay, so see that line there, 79. So that's the one that gives it a white color. She gave it a color 2020, 2020, 2020. And then, so that's the RGB, it's basically white. But then she added a percentage, which is a 66% transparency. So that's why it looks like that kind of ghostly white, because you're seeing through it. It's not that she has a different photo in front. Okay,
Yeah,
so
because
it's a color right there. So we're gonna click on that. It's actually not white. Notice, look at that. It's not even white. It's a little bit under white. So it's a lightish gray. Okay, can you see on the left where you have your circle? Right there on the left, the circle that shows the color. Yeah, it would be white if it were in the far right corner. It's not. She's got it beginning to be a very, very light gray. Okay, it's kind of starting to go down the grayscale. And then the last of those three, can you go to the transparency? That last one there, that's where she marked the transparency. You go up high would be totally opaque right there. And then if you go down to the very bottom, it would be completely transparent, and she had it somewhere at 66 or so %. So notice on the bottom how the number is changing on her transparency where it says RGBA. So for those of you who are accustomed to RGB, can you point to where I'm saying RGB at the bottom where the numbers are showing up? Yeah. So it doesn't say RGB, it says RGBA. Okay. The A is the alpha channel. Actually, on the left side, you'll see that the R right now in her case says 220 for red, 220 for green, 220 for blue. So that's what she got, her little light gray. And then 69.69 or 69% of transparency. And that is the alpha channel, and that's the A of the RGBA, okay? That A is the alpha channel that makes a number be something other than totally opaque, okay? If you don't have any transparency, can you go back to that for a second?
oh yeah.
Take the transparency out, like go all the way to the very, very top. Yep. And when you do that, when you're done, I guess maybe because you did have transparency, but otherwise it would show up as just RGB. I think because you had transparency before, it's showing as RGBA, but otherwise if you had never put transparency, it would just give you an RGB. But when it's at 100%, see on the left how she now got this off-white, just not white, but kind of off-white little background, slightly light gray, but totally opaque. And then as she brings this down, and then down somewhere to 66% or whatever is where she had it, is that'll give her that transparency. Okay, perfect. Thank you for showcasing that little thing. And then you've got your H1, your heading 1, your heading 2s with different fonts like we had before. And then you put your nav. Is that a border or is that a background to the nav bar?
It's background, yeah.
Yeah, cool.
And then I sort of did like little
change the colors a little bit, okay? And we're gonna work a little bit more on that today. And then again, if you want to make sure that we don't mess up with this, you might want to do a little copy. But yeah, and then after that you have your Lauren Ipsum, but you made some changes to that. You centered it.
Yeah, I think it's.
You also gave it a border and also a little bit of transparency because I can see a little bit of the wood behind this background, that little wood texture that she has in green. She has that wood texture in green background, and then this background for this section, I guess, or no, you called it a div. So
yeah, I had to change it because I wanted it to sort of be like in the center, so I made like
that's fine. I just want to try to get accustomed to avoid divs whenever whenever possible. If you can call it an actual semantic name, to avoid calling things div just willy-nilly. And so if this is the main portion of your paragraph, just call it a main or things like that. You have the main as a class, but actually the tag itself could have remained as a main or section, or and you have the tag being a div. And that's just enough non-descriptive, non-semantic that becomes a less accessible page for Google and for readers, okay? So that's why you want to be semantic with your descriptions of what is this. It's like you have a book with 4 chapters, and then you have a whole chunk of text that is just something, but it's not a chapter, it's not a paragraph, it's just something. It's a container that holds this text, and you actually want to be able to say, well, but is it an entire new chapter? Is it another line? What is it? Oh, it's just a little page of text in the middle of there. So giving a more semantic name to that little section, which one of the names could be section, in fact, becomes more it's considered more accessible. So that's just some feedback again. Okay.
Okay.
I have a
Thank you.
question. I have a question for, so in the coding, all the different colors, how does that happen?
Oh, yours doesn't do that.
No,
That's not
not
something
like,
she chose.
I mean, do you have a choice?
Yeah, down there, the fact that her coding is going like in the code and the styles, she has green or blue or pink, like
Right.
those. Yeah. So that's just maybe because we chose white. I chose white background to show you guys things to read better. I think, I don't know how mine shows up, but that's just the computer choosing these colors. Yeah, like her header is bright green, her padding is bluish green, her 60 pixels is purple. That's what you mean, right? The coloring of the code, not the colors she chose for her.
Oh yeah, I changed the I changed the colors
In the properties. Yeah, go in the preferences. So go to file, and at the very, no, go to edit preferences, way at the bottom. There you go.
I
Edit.
see. Okay. Yeah, it's so much easier to see this way.
Yeah. But I can't show it that way because then you guys don't see my cursor. So I made mine white and black, so it's not as fun. But it's easier for me to demonstrate. But yeah, so that's an interface set of colors. It's pretty cool.
I see. Thank you.
All right. Thanks for showing us that. Okay, very cool. Thank you for showing us that, Chris. I always get to see some of these I get to see some of these stages with you guys is showing me your screenshots at the end of the day, but you guys don't get to see it. So I get you got to see a couple today. All right. So I am going into my, I'm not sharing my screen right now. I would like those of you who are on your own Dreamweaver at home, then I want you to know that I added one file that I thought I had given you, but I noticed I hadn't given you. It's not too crucial. If you don't have it, you can just watch me. I'm going to do a little demo on that. But, I'm saying this without sharing. Let me share my screen. But those of you who do have VDI, you'll be fine because I added it here to the My Drive. But those of you who don't have VDI, then if you have a chance to go over to your shared drives through the pipeline thing in the Dreamweaver class files, I have one more little file here called logo, which is a PNG file. And I'd like you to download it. Anyway, it should have been inside of the stuff that I gave you the first day, but I was going to show you, compare a PNG to a JPEG to an SVG. And when I went to set that up today, I noticed that I had not given you this file. So if you can go download it, that would be great. Otherwise, really, it's not a big deal. I'll show you a PNG and then I'll show you an SVG. And the SVG you do have under the Paul Tranny here, where you have the images, you have, hello, it's coming. Over here, you do have the logo SVG, which is the other one that I need you to have. Okay. So if you downloaded these the first day and you don't feel like downloading this now, don't worry. You'll just see what I'm talking about. So anyway, just wanted to say that. Okay, so now let's go open the files, and here I am. Here's kind of where we left it. And I did not move past having background. Now, I do know that you weren't, hold on. Here we go. So Anna, you weren't here the other day. Was anyone else not here the other day? Anyway, if you want to add the changes that we added, I have the file in the shared drives under Dreamweaver shared files. Then I have this copy this first website, and this is updated to the last thing we did on last week. Okay, so this stuff is what I'm open right now. So you can copy from there, or you can continue from where you are. The last thing we did before leaving, and you might have done it or not, is I was tired of not being able to see the words of home, about, portfolio, and contact, because I think the last background that I updated was like a starry background, and these were blue and black, dark, and you couldn't see them. So I just really quickly had to put a little background in the nav properties. So I don't know if you guys got around to that or not, or if you gave it a color or something, but I went to the nav properties and gave it just a little bit of color and some transparency, which is what's happening up here, just so that it would be visible. And it wasn't made to be pretty at all. It was made just to be visible for a little bit. But I noticed that both Mira and both of you guys who shared, Chris and Mira, had a background to your nav, and since a few of you guys always leave a tad bit earlier or something, I didn't know if you'd all noticed and why it was there, and it was just so that we could even see these things. And today we're going to work more with this nav, so we're going to change some things around, but that's where we went. We went to the nav selector, and I know it was the very last thing I had us do, and then added a little background to it, because when there was no background, I'm going to take it off right now. Actually, now you can see it, but I had a blue background before and you couldn't see it anymore. Okay, so if you take it off, what I did was I hit that little, trash can, and now I have no background to it. Okay, so it was as easy as going there and going to the background color and adding a little color. Now that I have a different background, I might actually choose a different color. I might choose a color from this background in here. So yeah, I think that I'll probably choose maybe a deep burgundy or a deep red or something like that. So I'm using the eyedropper to choose that deep color there, and maybe give it a little bit of transparency. And then when I click away, I'm back to having a really dark color, right? And you can't see my name. Let me see if I can get bigger. See how you can barely see my links? Okay, so this is where we were at the other day, that we had a dark color and a dark set of links. So I wanted to talk a little bit more about these links and what we're going to do with that. But that over there is an example of completely inaccessible material for your site, to have something that's not readable. So you always have to make sure that before you spend too much time working on something, that you have an idea of what your design is going to be. But if you change it, if suddenly you do what I did, I just had a little light blue background, everything was fine. And then I go, oh, I want to have a little dark background for it. Boom. Notice that now you can't see your font. In this case would be my nav. And it's important to notice that you want to have your nav always be showing up the same way across all your website. So if you leave your nav background or coloring to the choice of each page, then you're going to find is that sometimes you'll see it, sometimes you won't, depending on whatever background is there on each page. So that's not going to work. So most of the times what you want with your nav is to have some kind of, is have a consistency, either a bar at the top, a bar at the bottom, you know, a bar in the middle, have some background to it, have something that has it stand out always in the same way from all your pages. Otherwise you're going to end up having to have some time, because if you choose to have a dark background, then you have to put light text, and that's something you'll change in your styles, right? In your CSS styles. And then if for the next page, for the about page, you choose to put in a light background, and then you're going to have dark words, and that would change your styles again. And then you'll end up having a mess of different styles for each page, and you really don't want that. So for something like nav, you should have consistency. Okay. So we're going to bring in today a nav. I'm going to talk more today about responsive design. And so we're going to bring in a nav bar that's a responsive nav bar. I'm going to explain to you first more about what a responsive nav bar really comes from. And then we're going to end up losing whatever background we have here. And we're going to use the bootstrap bar, which is what we're going to bring in. But we've already created the links. If I look at my source code, these are the links. Okay, we already made them happen. So we're fine with that. All we need to do is we're going to have to bring in a different structure for our website and then copy and paste all of our links. Okay, so we're going to be replacing this. That's why I told both Mira and Chris, don't tie yourself too much for that design. Give it a save as, keep it there for something you've done. But later, when we finish today with a new nav bar, then incorporate that new nav bar to your design. Okay, so keep what you've got going, but wait until you have the new nav bar and then bring your design in and make it fit again into the design that you've ended up with. Now, why do I want to bring in a different nav bar, a bootstrap nav bar? It's because this whole page right now that we've been building is not necessarily or isn't at all responsive. We've made a page that that won't bode well to be made smaller. So if you look over here, I don't know how much time we'll have to create good good responsiveness in this page. We'll do our best, but worst case scenario, we have other pages that we have all the files for that we can open to understand responsiveness better. But one thing that you can do is over here, this little kind of handle, if you bring it in to make it smaller, you'll start having an idea of what's happening to our site. Is what's happening in my case is that as I make it smaller, things are going down and the positioning is not being respected. See that? So if I want to be able to control what's happening, I need to change how my page is going to be according to whatever size it is. Okay. And in this case, when I make it be, you know, really big, 1200, it all falls well. This opens, that opens. But when I start moving it, say past 800, then that's when these things don't work too well anymore. So what I need to do is say, okay, when you are this big, that's fine. What I laid out is good. But when you are this big, I choose a place that's a normal or breaking point. And I say, at this point, I need to give you new design layouts, because the layout that I gave you here, where you went float left, float right, it worked fine, but it breaks down. It doesn't work so fine when you get to this size. And I'm trying to see, where does it break down? Let me see. Let me keep opening up a bit more. And about, yay. So at about 1050 or so, it's still fine. And then it starts to pile up one on top of the other. So at that point, instead of having it do this weird thing, then I'm going to have to go, okay, if my viewer is seeing my screen from a window that's smaller than 1,000 pixels wide, I have to give them a new design. So I'm going to create a new option of CSS for when the pages are for when the screen that is asking to see my website is smaller than 1,000 pixels. Does that make sense? And in this new view, maybe I'll put my first web page under that photograph instead of trying to get this little sideways thing that I had before. If sideways is not going to work, at this point it starts breaking down, then maybe I don't leave it like that. Maybe I forcefully say, well, I want this to go to the left, or I move both to the middle, like Chris had. You just change the design for a different size screen that will work better. And then as you get even smaller and smaller, you have to change things even more. You have to make things not only change in positioning, but also look at how small this photo is getting. Because this photo, I don't know if you guys remember, but the very first day, I asked you guys to put in not a fixed size for this photo, but I asked you guys to give it a 50% of its container. And so this is 50% of the container. If the container is this big, that's 50%. If the container is that big, that's 50%. If the container is that big, that's 50%. So this works fine when it's big, but as I get smaller and smaller, then this stays big, but this is getting tinier and tinier. And so it's just looking kind of off. So I need to say, okay, when you're really small, maybe this becomes 100% of the container. Or over here, maybe it becomes 75% of the container, right? So you have to choose different settings for your items as your screen size that people are going to be viewing the screen. So what we call the viewport ends up changing. Okay. So that would be an example of responsive design. And for the nav bar, when you have a whole bunch of, we only have 4 words, but when you have your nav laid out and you begin to compress and compress and compress, then the typical final size, the one that belongs to the phone size, probably won't have space across the top to have 4 or 7 or 10 words. So usually it turns into just a little one icon that you click and it pulls down as a menu. So that would be a responsive nav bar. Okay. So we're going to put in a responsive nav bar, and then we're going to try to create a different sets of CSS according to the media queries that we're going to insert in here. And media queries being those different places or breaking points where the page just, the design doesn't work anymore. So we're going to change how the design looks. Okay. So as you notice, I wasn't thinking, well, is it tablet size or is it this size or is it that size? I was saying, where does the design not work anymore? And where the design does not work anymore, that's where I create a breaking point. Okay. So there are a certain set of established design breaking points that people can use that come if you have a typical website. But the whole point is that people are leading out from there because it makes much more sense to put in, to design what you want to design, and then to put the breaking points where your design doesn't work anymore. And thus, if it looks good, if you're in a big tablet, then it can look the same as in a desktop. But if by the time you get to big tablet size, it's looking bad, then change it. But if it's not looking bad, then wait until you get to small tablet size. Basically, put that 1,000 pixels before. There used to be 2 brands of tablet, but now there's big tablet, midi tablet, Sony tablet, I don't know, names of 25 different brands tablets. So you don't care anymore what tablet is going to look in. You want to care that anything that's smaller than 1,000 pixels, it gets your second design. And maybe some tablets get your first design, maybe some get 2 because some of them have more or less pixels, but you don't care about that anymore. You just design for it to look good according to your design. Does that make sense what I'm saying? You just have to just make it fit your needs. All right. So we're going to do a little bit of that. First of all, I want to show you, and let me share my other screen. Let me go back to my Zoom here. Where's my share? There's my shared screen. I'm going to share with you guys this thing there. Okay, share. Okay. So here I have a window that we are going to try to get our stuff to imitate this a little bit. Okay. So not completely, but I'm trying to measure how much we can do because this is the last class. And I know that, you know, we're going relatively slowly. I wanted to show you how to do this little gradient stuff here. But for now we have, maybe that's less important than it is to show you more about the new nav bar. And so look at what's happening here. Pay attention to this nav bar. Okay. So as I get smaller, see how suddenly something changed? Here I had Paul Design Agency, Hope About Paul Portfolio and Contact. And then I hit a point, some point, which right now by viewing the site, I don't know when, but boom, at that point, all those words disappeared and I got something new. I got a little hamburger icon under which I have Home, About, Portfolio, and Contact. See that? So this is a responsive nav bar. And then as we get even smaller, something happened here where at first this was working okay, nothing was changing much. This shifted to go under, but that isn't necessarily responsive. That's just because it ran out of space and so it went and rat down. But watch what's about to happen. Boom, right there, from there to there. So from there, where this ended up getting so tiny that it couldn't share space anymore, then boom. So that is also a media query issue where the media query said, okay, I can't keep, it's really hard to read if I keep making this thinner and thinner and thinner, I'm gonna run out of ways to read this. So the designer said, okay, for the phone, I'm gonna, and this is phone size, I'm gonna get to just having my logo has always been in the middle, my headline's gonna be in the middle, and my box is gonna be in the middle, as opposed to having my logo in the middle and then the headline and the section of text to the side. So that's a choice you make to make this thing be responsive, okay? Other than that, the only other change that's responsive here is the nav bar, okay? So those are the two differences. Now, some I have that are even more, more changes. I showed you this the first day. This page has even more changes. It's also a responsive nav bar. But these things go from 3 to 2 to 1. So we move down to 2 bars. And then from 2 bars, we go down to, my mouse isn't, to 1. Okay. So this is also an example of responsive. And then over here, the nav bar that used to have all the stuff laid out is under the menu, home, waiting, what to see, activities. Okay. And if I were to click on what to see, I even have a sub menu right there. And then when I get bigger, the whole menu shows up there and there's what to see is up there. Okay. So that's another example of responsive. So we're going to end up doing something like this one, which is a simpler website for ourselves. This, on the other hand, is not a responsive design. Here, everything just gets smaller and smaller and smaller to the point that this is so tiny that it's unreadable. Okay. And this is unreadable. So this is what would happen to a non-responsive web page, which is definitely something you can't have anymore in real life. If you have a non-responsive website, your site is useless at this point. Okay. So, so now we're going to set up our site to be able to do that. And I'm going to change our share to be back to, here we go, to this design. All right. So what these, what we're going to do here is we're going to insert first that nav bar that's a responsive nav bar. Okay, so we didn't create a nav bar here. I mean, what we did is we created a tag that we called nav, and inside of that nav, we put our links, right? So that's right now our nav bar. But we're actually going to go one step further than that, and we're going to bring in a fully formed nav bar that's already responsive. coding for responsiveness is not necessarily that easy. And so designers have already done it ahead of us. And there's no need to reinvent the wheel all the time with certain basic things. And so there's different things called frameworks where there's already sets, so to say, designed like templates for us to use. And one of those frameworks that Dreamweaver uses, and that's a very popular framework, is called Bootstrap. And in the framework, you have preset material given to you for you to choose to use. And one of the ones that we have in Dreamweaver that we can use is Bootstrap components. And so I want us to all put our mouse in the right place. And the right place where we're going to insert this is at the very top, right after the opening of our body. So we're not going to have this Bootstrap navbar is not going to be inside of the header. It's going to be outside of the header. We're going to put our mouse in our code on, I have it on line 13 where it says body. I'm going to put my mouse right there, and then I'm going to hit return. And that right there above my header is where I'm going to insert my Bootstrap component responsive navbar. Okay, so are you doing that? Give me a no, or if you have a question, but if you're doing fine and that's what you're doing, then that's good. So you make sure you put the mouse in the right. I don't know if for everyone it's on page 14, line 14, but it should be somewhere thereabouts. Okay, so I'm gonna do this a little bit here. If you look at these numbers here, that gives you the lines. By the way, actually, let me go to styles. If you look at my colors, this is just for Mira. I also have colors that distinguish the selector from the variables, from the, from the stuff. They're not as colorful as the ones that that Chris showed, because I had to go white in the background. But if you actually do have colors here as well. Anyway, just thought I'm going to show you that.
Thanks.
In the source code as well. See, the tags are green and the text is white, and so there's just different things. It's just that it's not as cute or as colorful as
I guess the grass looks greener on the other side.
All right. So here I am. I have my cursor in my line 14, and I'm going to go over to insert, which is where we've been inserting the tags from. But over here, all I have to insert are HTML components. And I don't want HTML components. I'm going to click on the word HTML, and I'm going to choose Bootstrap components, which are these responsive, predetermined kind of sets of things already written for us with all of the coding that it takes to make something be responsive. The whole point of Bootstrap is responsive imaging. And if you're all with me, we're going to go head over down to where there's navs, to the nav bar. And when you click on the nav bar, whoops, I didn't mean to do that. I clicked on the icon itself. Let me undo that because I'm not sure if I clicked on the right one. So I'm going to do Command Z. I meant to click on this little arrow, and I'm going to make sure that I get the basic nav bar. Actually, the one I had fixed to top is fine. I actually prefer the nav bar fixed to top. So yeah, let's go to the nav bar fixed to top. That way, as much as we fixed our bootstrap, our footnote to the bottom, this way we can, so if you did end up clicking basic nav bar, which is what I first said over there, then again, Control Z to get rid of it, and then go back and click on this little arrow and choose nav bar fixed to top. Okay. Give me a, I know it'll look like, oh, what's all this stuff that just showed up in here? It's really confusing. Don't worry. In fact, I'm going to make my window a bit smaller because I noticed that you guys have smaller windows, many of you. And so it might get confusing to see such a big window. Here we go. Okay. That was a bit too much. Oh, yay, big. Okay, so give me a yes. Sorry, I might have said that already, but let me start from, let me just clean out your, I'm clearing your choices. Huh, why are my choices not clearing out? I don't seem to, okay, I just cleared out your choices. So go in and give me a yes if you were able to successfully insert the nav bar fixed to top.
No.
All right, so Robert.
Yes.
Let's see how we can get you. I know that I said to choose first the basic one and then the other one, so that might have got confusing.
Yep.
Can you show me what you've got going? See if I can help you. I've stopped my share.
Let's see.
I could have left it as the basic. Basic one is simpler. I should have left it at that, but never mind. Okay. Let me move you up front. Okay. Oh, so you didn't insert either one, so that's fine. So that's actually better. So there you are at 0.16. Now you're in insert, okay, on the far right side. And I see there you're scroll down, you're fine. Now go find nav bar, basic nav bar, and click on that little arrow. Yeah, in between there's a little arrow there. Yeah, click on that. And then, hello, where's
Hello.
your pull down?
What?
Hello. Should have a pull down of a couple of 4 different types of nav bars. There you
Oh,
are.
nav bar fixed.
And then click on the second one, nav bar fixed to top.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the one.
That's
Okay.
it.
And now up there at the top there you have it. Okay. And you can make it a little bit bigger here for you to see it. Since you do have a wide screen, then instead of leaving all this empty space, see over there where it says double click to fit width. If you just double click in there, it'll fit the width, and you don't need to go that far, you know, but you can because you have the space. So cool. You did it. Great. Anyone else who needs a hand? I'm not seeing yeses everywhere. So Mira, Dorothy, give me a yes if you inserted your nav bar. Everyone else seems to have given me a yes already. But Mira, is yours done? Okay. And Dorothy, is yours inserted? I'm not sure if Dorothy's there. Are you there, Dorothy? Okay. My headsets are running out of battery. I'm getting a little clinking on that. Okay. So now I have my screen again. Let me share my screen again. Here we go. Okay, I'm gonna get a little bigger. So let me show you what it is that we just brought in. We just brought in a nav bar that's a template saying, it's a really complicated nav bar template. Like you might want to do a lot of stuff with this just to see what it is and see what it does. Let's go save this and check it out on our, do a little preview of it. So I'm going to do a file, save all related files, because now I do have a whole bunch of related files that came in. It's telling me that this page, because of the bootstrap, is bringing in a whole bunch of other stuff. Do you want them? Let's say okay to that, because it tells me you need to serve them. You put them up there in order to behave. Say okay to that. You want all that stuff to be brought in. What?
Mine save all related file is not highlighted. It's gray.
Okay. Save all then, update links, let's say yes.
Save all?
Say save all, if save all related files is not available.
Oh, copy dependent files.
Yeah, so I need to bring mine in again because I said no to it. And so now I have to save it. Okay, save all. Why is it, it's so, it's interesting. I think it's having a problem with, it's only having a problem, you know what, with those of us who are doing VDI. This is not normal. it's changing the look and feel of my website. Are you guys who are at home are having this problem when that you have it update your files and it's changing completely? Because it shouldn't be happening. I don't like that. Let me undo that and see if I bring in just a regular nav bar, if it does that to me too. Let me see if I save this. Update links. Wow. Let me test this. This is not, if I can't do this, I'm not going to be able to demo too much, will I? Let me see what it's previewing. See what it's just destroying the whole. This is weird. I'm not sure that I'm going to be able to do this. This is not good. And in fact, even this preview now is taking over my screen. It's not letting me. Huh. And who else is on VDI here? Is it just Mira and I at this point? No, Chris, you're also,
yeah.
you're also on. So what happened to your, what happened, Tim, you're also, what happened to your bar? Is it coming in normal when you say save?
No, it's the same.
It's doing this thing that we're doing, right? It's having an issue with the fact that it's not, huh. I was actually playing around with this today in my own Dreamweaver. It didn't occur to me to test this in VDI. It's when I try, okay, this is a problem. Okay, so I'm going to say undo or Control Z.
Oh wait, mine.
Yeah.
Mine fixed itself.
Yeah, mine did too.
How did it fix itself? Let me get rid of this.
I I just saved it again and it worked for some reason. I don't know.
All right, so let me try and bring it in one more time. Nav bar fixed to top. Component is not fully compatible with the current Bootstrap. A new one will be created and linked to the document. Do you want to continue? But this is the same thing I just brought in. How bizarre. Okay. All right, I'm flummoxed, you guys. I don't know how to show you this because it keeps bringing this one in for me. You saved and they saved again, and then the next time it came in normal. Save all. All right, I can't demo this with you if it's not working for me, even if it's working for you. So let me do this. I'm going to get rid of this nav. Tim, how about you? Is it working for you, Tim? Or is it like me? I can't hear you.
Sorry. No, I didn't even get as far as you guys did, actually.
So
Yeah.
I still need to change mine in.
yeah.
Would you like to take over somebody's screen that's working for your demo?
Yeah, but if I have 4 people who can't do it, then I can demo it, but it's not a very useful demo, you know? I'm saving the file. I've deleted what we just did. I'm going to try one more time. If I can insert a regular. Let me bring a basic nav bar. It's not fully compatible with current Bootstrap. It didn't even say this the first time. It's saying this now. and then it doesn't work. So this is gonna be a problem. Maybe what we need to do is let me try it in a new file. Let me actually see if I make a new. I can't see, the problem is, I see the problem. Let me go into my library, into my files. Even though I deleted the HTML tag, I still have in here all the other material and things that came in with this new CSS. So I'm going to get rid of all of that, which I was about to show you that had come in, but let me just get rid of them now. Can I? Delete. Yeah, that's fine. Delete that. About index styles, and in my styles, now let me say save all. Let me just see what's happening here. So it's not on the disk. Let's get rid of it. Open the file again. I don't know if this is going to work. No, because these files are already there. These are those Bootstrap components, except for now it says they're not there. This is not good. I'm trying to troubleshoot my way around this so that I can teach you guys, but I'd like to test it to see if it's just, no. Because they're not in here anymore. I got rid of them as files for the local server. And if I do a reset, a refresh. I wasn't expecting it to completely fall out. Okay, got a lot to teach to you today. Okay, I can just go and teach you something else because I was worried about getting all sorts of material I'll have and have more than enough stuff to teach you today all day, but I really was hoping to teach you this. Okay, this is not going to work. I'm going to close this file and let me see if I go back to open my copy of the website. So I'm going to see if I can copy this, and if this works, I will go and put this back and I'll ask you all to do the same, but I need to test it first because if not, I'm replacing my files with the ones that I had earlier today so that when I open my file, it's back to before my changes. I'm going to do the attempt one more time, and if it works for me, then we can all. So this is back, okay? I just reset my site, so I'm back without any of the problems I had before. Let me try to bring it in one more time, and then I'll tell you. Give me a second. One quick second here. Okay. Insert nav, basic nav bar. I don't know if this is going to work. Save. Just say save all. This is an object behavior requires supporting files. While having copied to your local site, you must upload into the server in order for the object behavior to function correctly. See what's happening here. This is not normal. This wouldn't happen. This is because of the VDI, but it doesn't tell me what server. Like, is VDI not able to read it? When it says it's been copied to your local site, I don't know what it considers local site, like the VDI version. I say okay. This time I said okay and it worked. But let me see if I try to test it. If it's going to work. Huh. It's not letting me test it either. Something's not good here, guys. Real-time preview on Chrome. Well, it's working now. So this time I brought in the basic. I brought the basic navbar instead of the linked one. But most of you guys brought the linked one in. It's not the fixed one. It's not so different, but yeah. For some reason, it seems to have taken it better. Let's see. Just fixing this on those of you for whom it's not working is my problem. Kim, Chris, you said it's working. So right now, Mira, you said it's working for you too now?
Yes, it looks just exactly like yours right now.
So then the only one is Tim, and Tim, you haven't done it yet, right? So why don't you do it?
Sorry, I've got a different setup tonight, and I missed where you copied it from altogether. That's
okay. I'll show you. It's good then, because it's one less problem. Let me see. Vivian, how are you doing? Are you having the same issues? I think you're also on VDI, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm on VDI, but my layout looks the same as yours.
Yours worked.
Mhm.
Okay. All right. So then, Tim, here's the thing. Let me just show you what I did right now that did work, which is put your mouse and maybe I should just see it on yours. Why don't you share your screen and we'll just do it on yours that way. Yeah, go ahead and share your screen and we'll make sure that as we do it, I'll tell you exactly what I did, because if it's working for everyone else and I just made it work on mine, then why? Okay, so go to the source and then go scroll up or down to, say, to the top to where you have your navbar now or your header. Yeah, and right there, oops, go back a little bit higher up, like between 12 and 13, line 12 and 13. So right after body before header.
Okay.
Yeah, so hit return.
Okay.
Cool. And now go to the insert panel on the right side where you had your CSS designer. And then go down, up to where it says HTML and bring in the Bootstrap component. So click on that and go to Bootstrap components. Okay. And then scroll down until you see the nav bar. Yeah, and then click on basic nav bar, because that one worked for me. The other one didn't. Okay, so now that it came in, and you guys see how for him it's already coming in as compressed. He has less space available for it. So now go and say save all. My problem is that I said save related files and it didn't work, but when I said save all, you know, now say okay to that, and after this, it worked for me. The first time it didn't, now it's working. Okay, so the first time I said save all related files, because in my case it was available. For you guys, it wasn't available. And the second time I did save all like you did, and it was fine. So, okay, so now it's working for you. So hopefully it's working for everyone. Okay.
Great.
All right. Okay. So, cool. So let's see. Cool. Let me share my screen again. Okay, so now, I think for those of you who brought in the fixed or the non-fixed, the nav bar is the same. It just has a couple of differences in how it's going to be when we scroll, but that's okay. So, so right here, what we have, before we even look at the nav bar, I want you guys to look up at the top what happened with these purple and green lines. Okay. So those of you who saw a little bit of this when you took the summer classes, I showed you a little bit of what these meant. These are your media queries. And these are different settings at which things happen. And when things happen is because it doesn't look as good anymore. And so things change. So the nav bar that came in has quite a few media queries set up. It says above 1200 pixels, look a certain way. Under 1200 pixels and above 992, look a certain way. Under 992 and above 768, look a certain way, and so on and so forth. Under 768 and above 576, look a certain way. And then under 576, so basically at 575.98, look this final way, right? So it's all these different views. And if you notice over here, if here it says 768, here it says 767.98. So it's just like right after this one pixel and over there. So this is kind of like the opposite of this. So this is max width and this is min width, but it's the same idea, right? Or this is max width and this is min width. Okay. So basically, if I click over here right now, I'm seeing it anything bigger than that. And I'm seeing the entire bar the way it would look for the biggest of big screens. Now, if I click on this one here, it's scrunching down a little bit. And this is showing me the nav bar. And right now, nothing has changed much. So I can confidently say that the nav bar between the widest of screens and the big screens is not going to change. Then let's go to the next setting. And boom, as soon as we get to the next setting, now, yes, the nav bar has changed. It's gone into that mode where we just see the title and we see the compressed nav bar. And then if we go to this final size, it's the same one. So there's only two big changes in this nav bar, okay? The whole Bootstrap came in with 4 choices, right? 1, 2, 3, and then bigger than that. But in reality, there's only 2 big changes, which happen right there, okay, at this point. So anything that gets smaller than 768, it's going to shift. Or was it smaller than 992? Yeah, smaller than 768, okay? So let me show you where in the CSS do we see this information. So let's go over to our CSS right now, CSS Designer. And up until now, this is the only things that the selectors that we had, right? It's just that stuff. And all of these were empty. But if I go click on media right now, we'll discover that there's some new stuff got created here. All of these different media queries exist now. And they were brought in by the Bootstrap component saying, okay, min width this much, that much, this much, that much, this much, that much. And things will change now according to the width and that they're brought in. Another place, yes.
I don't have any of that.
Okay, under your media.
Yeah.
I had to uncover that a little bit.
Okay.
Did you not see these? Have you been clicking on these? Because these are equivalent.
I don't have
that.
any. I have none of those colors.
Okay, so why don't you share your screen with me so I can see what's happening on yours? Oh, there you are. Okay, see, you have the problem. You have the thing that I said was happening to me where your nav bar did not come in with all of its media queries. See how it's kind of not the bar that we were seeing?
Yeah.
So in order to, how do we fix this for you? Because I fixed it for me. You're on your own computer, right?
Yes.
Let me see if I can request remote control. And okay, all right. So can you open up the folder? Let me look at your files. Okay, your files are, we had seen before that your files are in your Yosemite.
Download, I think.
They're in your downloads folder, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So can you, let's go open your downloads folder.
Okay.
And here they are. Dreamweaver class files, were they under 1 or 2? Trying to remember. Here, Z Robertsford website, here they are. So, let me see if I can delete it from here. I can try to delete it from here. I'm not sure. No, I can't. Yes. Move to trash. And from here, I can make sure to refresh. And from here, we can get rid of this whole thing. And let's see if this does it. And if this doesn't do it, then I have to get you the files to start with. It looks like it all got cleaned up, but what didn't get cleaned up, see up here, you guys, how he still has all these guys. And this is the stuff that I wasn't able to get rid of on mine, which is why I had to redo it. So I'm going to close this file without saving. I'm going to say close all and don't save. And when we open it again, hopefully it's been cleaned up. Nope. You managed to save it in there. Even though I deleted it, it shows up again. So this is where, unfortunately, the only way I was able to solve it in mine, Robert, is to take it from my old version, but you don't have an old version. Because you just have your version and you don't have in here the starter version. So Robert, the only way I can fix this for you right now is going all the way to and downloading the clean site that I have on the sample files. So
Okay.
what I'm going to do is, I'm looking at the time. Why don't I give everyone a break and I'll do this for Robert so that he can get started clean. Is anyone else in this situation? Dorothy, where are you at? I haven't heard from you. Okay, so everyone take 15 minutes. It's 6:50. Let's be back at 7:05. Robert, I'm gonna see if I can do it from here for you so that we can close this file. Don't save. Okay, and then I'm gonna open sbcc.edu. Can you sign into your pipeline account here, please?
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's go to student non-credit. Let's Google Drive. Shared drives, Dreamweaver. Dreamweaver class files. And here's copy this site. So I'm going to go to this one. I'm going to download this whole thing. So it's downloading.
Mm-hmm.
When it's downloading. All right, so now let's go back. And here it is. Let's unzip that. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take everything that's here and copy that. And I'm going to go over here into your files and I'm going to paste. You'll end up having mine, okay? So if you have something that you loved about yours, you'll end up going with mine.
Fine.
At least we can work.
Great.
So now let's open it again. So now you've got mine, okay? But that's okay.
Perfect. Yes.
Let's go in here and let's insert this again and let's see if we can get it to stick this time. Navigation, nav bar. Let's go with the simple basic nav bar. And now they came in. See?
Oh, yeah.
But I don't see the nav bar yet, no? The stuff came in, but I don't see the nav bar. How funny. You scroll down. Huh. Let me save because I don't see the nav bar. Okay. There it is. Okay, so you're ready to go. So somehow inserting that for some reason was causing problems to some people, but now you're there, you're at the same point I am. And then these are those media queries that you were saying that you couldn't see. See how you can see them now?
Yes.
And in your CSS designer, you should see there under media queries, there's all those guys that you were not seeing. That's because it hadn't inserted correctly, but now it did. So cool.
Thank you.
Let's save everything and let's take a break since now this is our break as well.
Excellent.
And look, let me
Thank
show
you.
you're sharing. You're welcome. Okay. So 6:53, 6:50. Oh, 10 minutes. I don't know how long I took with him. So 7:10 or so, 7:12. Be back. Okay, so I'm back. I'm not exactly sure since I was helping Robert if it's 15 minutes or if I'm back too soon or if I'm back too late. If it occurred to me, since I don't see anyone else on, that maybe it's not too late, but maybe it's a bit too soon. Anyway, I'm also aware, not only is my dog groaning in the background, Skylar, shush. I'm also aware that it's hard to focus given that we have our, if you're politically minded, the last presidential debate is going on, which I decided not to even check on because there's no way I can focus if I check on it to teach the rest of this class. So there's so many ways to see it afterwards that I will find out afterwards what's been happening. But if anyone is distracted because of that, I completely understand. Anyway. So I'm talking and seeing who shows up, and I have a feeling that everyone is slowly trundling back. Okay, so that's good. Now I'm trying to, here we go. Managed to get Robert all set up. Dorothy, I see you now. I didn't see you before. Are you all set up? Are you in the same place we are, or?
Well, no, I didn't find where you got the bootstrap. I did finally find it somehow, and but now I don't know what to do with it.
Okay, do you want to share really quickly? I'll put it up so that we can continue. I'll just click on I'll see where you are instead of having to guess. Just share your screen. Okay, so you've got your cursor in the right place. Go to the insert tab at the top. And then go down to where it says HTML, just the first choice, and choose Bootstrap component. No, up, the very first choice there, insert, Bootstrap components. Perfect. There it was. I know, it's kind of hiding because you can insert all kind of components before we were in HTML. Okay, now scroll down to almost the bottom where it says navbar. Click on the little arrow between the two navbar. Nope, a little bit higher up. It says accordion tab, navigation, navbar. There we go, that little arrow in between them, and then choose basic navbar. Okay, it worked. Now go up to file, save, and just do save all. Don't do, yeah, save all. And then say okay to that. And cool, yay, it worked. You're in the right spot. Good, you were easy. Okay. So now everyone is in the same spot. So perfect. That was quick. I went and replaced Robert's files. Then we got this up and it worked fine. So now everyone is back up to speed. So let me share my screen now. Here we go. All right, so let me explain a little bit more about what's happening now. We inserted these Bootstrap components. And this all stopped when I was trying to show you when you go to the media, if you pull down, now you should have more of these guys. But that's when Robert said, well, I don't see them. And so I noticed that if you're going up and down, these didn't show up for me until I went to the max size. And then they showed up, and there's a whole bunch of them as you go up and down of possible, because instead of bringing in one or another, by bringing in these components, they brought one of every single type or version of possible breakpoints that could exist, right? So right now we'll ignore those a little bit. I just wanted to show you that, but I'm glad I did because that helped you. We're going to use these in a minute, but for now, just kind of hide it again. I just want to make sure that you all go down and see whether at media, which are the media queries, whether you see these guys. These are different media queries. And if you do see them, then that's good. Is everyone seeing them?
Yes.
Give me a little yes or say yes. Okay, great. All right. So basically by inserting this Bootstrap component, we end up we ended up inserting a whole bunch of other files into our screen, into our website. On the one hand, you can see them up here. Now we're not only with source code and styles, but we also have these Bootstrap and jQuery and Popper and Mini Popper and Bootstrap. Now we can ignore all of these. These are the kind of things that someone did for us, so we never need to touch them or change them. These are kind of come in a package. It's kind of like don't touch, don't change. They are set up already for us, in fact, and we're just gonna only keep using our own styles and our own source code, okay? But if you go over here to where it says files, you should see that we have a new set of folders. We have a CSS folder right there and a JavaScript folder right there, okay? So the styles that we created are hanging out here, but the styles that Bootstrap created came with their own folder. So we could, if we wanted to, put our styles in there as well. But right now, just to keep things clean, we're just gonna say that those styles are the Bootstrap styles with its own locked folder. We're not gonna change this one. And then these are our styles, okay? All right. Did everyone go and find their JavaScript folder and their CSS folder? You see them there in your files?
Yes.
That
Yeah.
was brought in. That was brought in from us. That's when it said you need to import some files. That's what got created. All right. Now, let's make this nav bar be our bar. Okay. So first of all, when you click on this nav bar, these are sample bars, sample names, right? We don't need to keep them that way. And so we get to choose what we want each one of these to be, and if we want them or we don't want them. So the first thing we have to do is, how do we find all this stuff in our code? I'm going to go back to our source code up on top. And up here, I'm going to pull up my DOM, okay? Because I want us to see a little bit more. And look at all the stuff that's in there now that we didn't have before. All of this is my nav now. Okay. And remember that we had a little nav that we had inside of the header, the little one that we made with our little links. Well, this is the nav bar that was brought in. And it also starts with a nav HTML tag. So we can't have two nav bars in one website. I mean, rarely in a huge website, you might have the main nav bar at the top and you might have some kind of a set of links at the bottom and the footer sending you again to places, but that wouldn't be the main nav bar. This would be the main nav bar. It's notoriously at the top. If you change things to the point that people don't know where things are in your website, like, oh, I want my nav bar to suddenly be at the bottom, well, people won't know how to navigate, to scroll all the way to the bottom to go to another page. So nav bars tend to be always at the top. So we need to put our links into this new nav bar. We made our links are working, but we don't want them to be here. We want these to be the ones that work. So the first thing we need to do is get rid of all the complicated things that we don't need in the nav bar. And I don't need, for a 4-page website, a search or a search bar, which is what this gives me. Let's go see, by the way, how this looks. Go and do a little preview. So go and do a little file, where was it? View, real time, it's in file, real time preview, or go to that little icon at the bottom and say, do that. And right now, this is our web page. If we make it bigger, we see all of this stuff in it. And if we make it smaller, not only do we see the nav bar collapse, but remember before I had the media queries, my left side block was going under my image. Do you see how that's not happening now? I showed you that at the beginning, and how when I went bigger and smaller, all my stuff was kind of shape shifting. Well, guess what? Once you add the media queries are keeping things the same way. And it's up to me to decide to tell it when I want it to go under or not. So right now, no matter if I go really big or really small, I'm still able to keep my materials on the left or on the side. And that nav bar though, when I make it bigger, what I want to do is I don't need this search stuff, neither the search button or the search bar. What am I going to be searching on this website? I don't need that. So I'm going to go get rid of that. And then here I have a possible disabled link that I don't need either. Then I have a drop down menu, which for this tiny website, I don't need either, but maybe we can see how it looks. And then I have a link that's just a generic link, and then I have home. So yes, we have home. And we have about, portfolio, and contact. So we basically need 4 of these basic ones. And we want to get rid of the drop down, get rid of the disabled, get rid of the search bar and the search button. Does that make sense? So what these templates do is they give you a bit of everything. And you go, well, my website needs a drop down bar, but it doesn't need a search, or yeah, I need a search, or no, I don't need any of that. So now with this template, which has a little bit of everything, we're going to get rid of all the stuff we don't need. All right. So it's easier to see it in real life in here, which is why I'm having us do that. So I'm going to minimize that. I'm going to go over to my div. Okay. And over here in the nav bar, if I click in here on the home, it opens up to this link. If I click in the link, it opens up to this one. If I click on the search, it opens up here. I click on the button, it opens up here. So you're seeing that showing up in your DOM. So I can see that both the search and the search button are in here, are the input and the input button. I don't want either one of those. So then this form icon that holds all of it, I don't want any of it. As you notice that as I click in here on the left side, all the code for these things are showing up. The code for the input is showing up, the code for the button is showing up, and the code for the form is showing up, right? And all of that is showing up here again. So the 3 places where it shows up. So I like working from the DOM. I'm going to say, I don't really need this anymore. I don't need the form anymore. I want to get rid of all of that, both the button and the input button. So I can just right click here on the form and say delete. So I'm not going to delete yet until I make sure everyone saw how I got here. But if you got here, go ahead and delete it. So if my nav is completely closed and I don't know what part is what part, the easiest thing is to start clicking. And when I click, my DOM opens up to show me what it's on. And as I click on the thing, then I also see in the source. So if you understand how to select source from end to end of form, you can do it from there. But since sometimes that can be confusing, I do know that it's easy to click on the word form in the DOM, right click, and hit delete. So this time I will delete it. I'll hit delete. And there you go. That whole set of tags is gone. And now my search bar and my search button are gone from my bar. So I'm modifying this bar to become mine. Okay.
No,
All right. So explain the no. What happened to you?
no form.
So over here on the right side, did you have a search and a search button on yours? I'm going to go
Yes.
ahead and save it. Control Z. Let me see mine show. Okay. So click on one.
What?
Click on search bar. Click
Oh.
up here on our search or search bar. Let me put a little mouse spotlight on my mouse so you can see my mouse better. There we go. So click
Okay.
on one of these two. When
Yeah.
you click on them,
Uh-huh.
then down here on the DOM, do you have your DOM open or is your DOM collapsed? If it's
No,
collapsed, go ahead and click on the word DOM, open it up.
it's open.
Okay, so when you click on one of these, it'll be either input or button that get
No.
chosen.
No, it's
And
A.
the form, okay. Is it an A that clicks when you click on search?
It's A and then dot nav bar / brand.
Okay, are you clicking on some other part? Because
No.
there's, see, nav bar there, that word
Oh.
nav bar takes
Yeah.
me to the A nav bar brand. So way on this side, search is on this side.
Okay.
Click on this end of things right there.
Yeah.
Are you now in the input or button?
No.
No. Okay. So then if you're not there, I don't know how to help you anymore without you sharing. So share so that I can help you see how to get there. I'm thinking of something. It could be that you have your window too small to see it. No, you haven't. Okay. So here you are. Go ahead and I see what you mean. You are clicking on search. Can you go and click on the word search now instead? Click on the word search.
Yeah.
Like, sorry, on the right side, the word search, that's the word search too. So both of them, that's the button.
Okay.
And I'm looking at your DOM and you're right. You are not heading inside. Interesting. Are you in split view? Yes, you are. Oh, sorry. I lost you. Give me a sec. I lost your share. Hold on. You're hiding under my stuff now for a second. There we go. Okay. Why are you not going there? Anyway, okay, so then you can still find it down in the code, or you can open up. So in the DOM, I don't know why you're not going there automatically, though. You should, but go to the DOM with your mouse now, since you're not going there. And then open, see how in the DOM you're on the A, then underneath it says button, underneath it says div. Open up the little triangle to div, pull that down. Yeah, and in there you see the word form. You
Yeah.
say UL and form, yeah, that form. Click on that form, just click on the word form, and that's the whole search thing. I do not know why it didn't go straight there in your DOM, but if I look at that, and if you look at your source now, see how the whole tag form is being highlighted.
Okay.
So now you can just right click on the word form, not there, but move a little bit to the left, to the gray word form, to the left, to the tag, yeah, to the word form that's in a little gray, like, yeah, right click and say delete. And yeah, delete down there.
Nope.
Are you right clicking? No, just do a left click,
Oh. Nope.
just a regular click. Wow, your screen is doing weird stuff. How can you not? How frustrating. It's not deleting, is it? Okay,
Nope.
go into the source code then. I'm wondering, you have the latest version of Dreamweaver? Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know. Okay, go to the source code instead. See how in the source code it's already highlighted? Scroll down a little bit so you can see it. Source code, go and scroll a little bit. There it is. And then, yeah, hit the delete key. So click in there. So you can select, drag from end to end, and then hit your delete key from the keyboard. See if it goes. Finally, it went away. Wow, it really wanted to stay in your case. And I'm actually looking at look at that. Click on something else now because it didn't delete itself from your DOM nor from the bar. Click somewhere. How weird. Okay, I'm requesting remote control. I do not know why your screen is not, your computer's not doing the right thing, but you deleted it from the code, so it shouldn't be here anymore. Okay, now it's gone. Now I click somewhere else, it's gone. But it's not gone from the bar yet. And if I click on the bar, I still see it. Is this happening to anyone else? I'm gonna right click and it's not deletable. This is so bizarre. Do you have a double? Did you bring it in twice or something? No. You deleted the right thing. It's not in your code anymore.
Yeah, this is the one you downloaded. That was yours.
Yeah, let me go do a save and see if maybe it refreshes. Let me refresh over here. See where you have a little refresh. I'm going to click on that. See if perchance that refreshes things. And it's not in your DOM anymore. It's gone from your DOM. It's also gone from your code, but it isn't disappearing from the live view. And when I try to click on it in the live view, it shows up in your DOM again. It's so bizarre. Oh my goodness. Let's close this file and open it again. And now it's gone. You have some issue with the refreshing or the redrawing because it was gone, but it was still showing up there. Now I closed the file and opened it up again, and then it's gone. See?
Okay.
I don't know why it was doing that, and I don't know when you're clicking. So if I click over here to try to find this link, it's not. Look at that. I'm trying to find this link. It's not opening in the DOM. I don't know. Did you change? Maybe you changed something in preferences, or sometimes when it's going so wild, you just want to close your program and open it up again. Because if you click in here, up until now, when you clicked on something, didn't it go in the DOM to the right place? And it's not going anywhere. I'm clicking on your H2. It's not going to the H2.
Yeah.
I'm clicking on the image. It's not going to the image. So something's not reacting. So what I would say right now is the file's fine. Everything's fine. Save. Close the file, but also I'm going to quit your Dreamweaver. Go ahead and open Dreamweaver again.
Okay.
And then when you open Dreamweaver again, open your website and see if it begins to respond correctly, because that's just Dreamweaver not doing what it should do. That's not like a quirk of the file. Okay. When you open it up again, from down here, we're opening it again, and let's see now if it's going to work. Okay. So guys, for everyone else though, did it work to delete your form to get rid of the search and the search button? It's not in vain that I was showing this that was happening. I'm going to open the index file from over here. It's not in vain that this was happening. Now my mouse is, there we go. So can you open the website? Yeah. Let's click over there. Let's see if I click on something now, if it goes in the DOM to that thing. When something isn't working like it should, go click on like the word home up here, or on the H2. Go click somewhere in your live view.
Let's see.
I'm trying and it's not going anywhere. Your DOM is not reacting like it should, and I don't know what the problem might be.
Yeah, the mouse is going wild too. Let's see.
It could, you know what, you're sharing your screen, which puts a lot of issues in the system. I'm gonna stop your sharing because that does make things happen that are sometimes not good. I'm going to keep sharing mine. You keep saying, and I was able to go into the code and change it in your computer. So if you get stuck, because I say have the DOM and delete it from the DOM, and then I'll tell you, well, go into the code, which you did fine, and delete it from the code, or change it in the code, which might have to be how you have to do it. It might get better when you're not on Zoom and with all of us on VDI and all of that. Okay. So back to mine, and now I'm going to delete mine. Right click and delete from there. Okay, so now I'm going to save. I'm going to file save everything because I just made a big change in there. All right, the other thing that we don't want is this disabled line. It's a link that we don't want anything disabled. So I click on the word disabled, and now again, you can either go to the DOM and find the whole link, or just to make things different, by clicking on disabled, you can go over here and see in line 28. So somewhere around there is where the disabled link appeared. We don't want that one. So we can get rid of this whole list item from end to end, which is the same as if I had gone over here and gotten rid of this list item, the nav item that's holding this anchor. Okay. So this is the list item holding this anchor. So that's this nav item holding this anchor. Okay. So now I'm going to right click and delete that. I'm going to put again a little spotlight on my mouse so you can see my mouse better again. There we go. So now I got rid of that. And so see how my disabled is gone? And again, if it didn't work for you, I'm going to undo that. If it didn't work for you, Robert, which I have a feeling by now it probably didn't, then go down and basically at the very bottom of your code, when you click on disabled, your code did get highlighted. I do remember that. Around line 28, you should see the nav item, nav link disabled, and you can delete from end to end from there and hit your delete key. Okay. And so now I'm doing it from here. I'm going to leave it so that you can look at it and find it. All right. So we're at the point where we've gotten rid of what we don't want anymore. And now we got to make our links be those links. All right. So I think I was going to try to have us play around with the drop down menu, but since we are kind of running late because of these little issues, and I want to show you a little bit more, I'm going to go ahead and let's get rid of the drop down menu as well. The drop down menu, after all, is just many more links. So again, click on drop down menu. And when you click on drop down menu, over here you have the link, the list item that takes you to all the nav item drop down menu. Okay, this whole thing is the drop down menu. Let's get rid of that as well. So basically you like any template, you go, I want some things, but not everything. We want to get rid of the drop down menu. Over here, I'm showing it to you before I get rid of it. This is the link with all of the drop down information. I'm going to right click from here and delete that one. So basically I'm left with just navbar, home, and link. Okay. For you, Robert, basically where the navbar begins, just go all the way down to the last link item that says nav item, class link, and delete everything else that's underneath it. I don't know. Okay. So now here's the thing. If not, Robert, just follow along conceptually, and when I'm done creating the new nav, I can open yours again and then just help you delete these correctly. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So just kind of follow along. Basically, all I've done is get rid of all the stuff I don't want. So now, is everyone else following? Do you need me to show you again? All I'm doing is clicking on what I don't want. And when it highlights, I go over here and I delete it. Okay. Now I'm left with nothing else that I don't want. But what I do want is two more of these, because I have home and I have link, which I can change into home, and the word link can change into about. I see, Leland, you're raising your hand, so I'll say you in a minute. But for everyone, let's go to the one that says link, select in there, and then that text, instead of it being link, let's change it into about. Oh. This is going to be our about link. Okay. So now we have home and about, and then we need to make a few more. So yes, Leland, what's your question?
I noticed that you are right-clicking, deleting in DOM. Is there really any difference to do the deletion in the code, for instance?
No.
Or is okay.
If you're comfortable with the code, which you are, you're working much more with websites than most of the people in the class, and you've already taken a few of the classes, then please delete it in the code. But the whole point of Dreamweaver many times is to not use code. So I'm trying to show you how to do it without doing it in the code. But if you're good and comfy in code, go for it. Delete it in code. It's just select the code and hit the delete key. But,
Okay, so
but
there's
if you
nothing
don't
really
know,
being affected what you delete in DOM or code. Okay, gotcha.
it's exactly the same. It's just a different way that tends to be easier for people who are uncomfortable with code, because you click on something, delete there, and it takes a whole chunk of code away. Versus if you have to decide where, you might end up selecting the wrong thing and not knowing where to stop, right? So it's just an easy way. It's the Dreamweaver easy way to get rid of it. That's all.
Okay,
All
thank you.
right. So no problem whatsoever. So good question. So here I went ahead and changed this and I said about, okay? And if I click on this and I look to see where this is, and let me select this word, I can see over here that here's the word about, well, in the code. For me, it's about line 22. And I'm giving you the numbers of lines because although we all have a little bit different, it shouldn't be that different. If it's not 22, it's probably 18 or 25 where you can begin to see until you can find the about. Okay, so has everyone been able to find that word about in your code, which you just changed up there where it used to say link?
Yes.
Yeah.
Dorothy, are you following? Kind of. All right, I'm not hearing from Dorothy. I heard yes from Vivian and Chris. Everyone, Anna, Tim, you're all okay? Ish? Robert, were you able to delete the other stuff, or are you still trying to figure it out?
No, I'll have to review it later.
Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know why your Dreamweaver is malfunctioning. As I said, maybe when we're not all online, it might start working well. If not, you might need to turn off. Here you guys, when the program isn't working as it should, it's not an issue of the file or of you not knowing how to do it. Your first thing is to close the file and open it up. It didn't help. Then Dreamweaver, close it up and it didn't work. Your third step, Robert, and we have to do it after class, is quit your computer and start your computer again, and then open up Dreamweaver and see if it works like it should. It should work in Dreamweaver that you click on something and it pops up in the DOM and it pops up in the source. If that's still not working, then you either try to call tech support Adobe, which is not good, or you reinstall Adobe Dreamweaver, right? You just get rid of it and reinstall it, download it again from Creative Cloud, because that's a computer, that's the program is malfunctioning.
Right.
Anyway, so here we go. I have a pretty good feeling that as we're not all on Zoom and all that, and you close down your computer and start up again, I have a pretty good feeling that it's going to start working again. If it doesn't, then it's a program issue. All right. So now what I need to do is I need to do some copies of this, because I need about, home, and portfolio, right? So I need this link 4 times. So again, the DOM is the easiest way. So if you click on the about and go to your DOM, it's pointing up to the anchor, and this is the whole list item, okay? So this is the list item. And once again, if you look in here, what the difference is that in the left, the anchor is just this internal part, and I click on list item, and it's the whole line that gives you the list, okay? So we need to copy that and make 3 more of these. Well, 2 more, because we have home, we have about, and we need portfolio and contact. Here's the ones that we had made, right? So we need 2 more of those, right? So I find the easiest way is to use the DOM. Again, if you're good at code, you copy that, paste 4 times, 2 more times. For those of us who, let's say we aren't comfortable with code, make sure you're finding the right list item. Again, click in here and it should open up for you, list item, this one. And then right click and duplicate. Now we have 1 more. And over here we have 2 abouts. And then right click and duplicate 1 more time. And now we should have 3 abouts. Home, about, about, about. Yeah. And over here in the code, you see 3 lines of exactly the same code, 3 links that say about, about, about. Before I continue, is everyone there? You want to confirm with me that you got those 3?
Can you
So
do it
give me a little.
please?
Yeah. So I went over here, I found the DOM item, and I right clicked and said duplicate. But to find the list item, what I did is I clicked on that first about, it pointed me to the right thing. And that's the thing that's not happening with, Robert. But when it clicks and takes you just to the link, you actually want the whole list item. So go on 1 up, and it's the list item that you need to duplicate 2 more times actually only to end up with 3 abouts and 1 home. All right. And then at that point, since this is a relatively major change, let's go ahead and do save all. And now we have to make each of these links be, one is about, the other one's home about, the other one's going to be portfolio, and the last one's going to be contact. So we'll just double click in here and write portfolio. And here we're going to write contact. So we're basically co-opting the links that were made for us in the template to turn into ours, so that we don't have to worry about all of the making this be a responsive bar. All we're doing is we're using their links and making them our words. But what's missing here is that we had already created the anchors for all of these in our little bar, and these don't have that yet. So once I confirm that everyone has done these 4, we're going to go ahead and put the right anchors in there. So how's everyone coming along? Do you have these 4 home, about, portfolio, and contact? And if you do, give me a green yay. And if you don't, give me a little no, and I'll help you get them done. Okay,
I
so,
think I copied one extra about.
okay, so if you copied one extra about, go down to that extra about in the DOM, right click and say delete.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. All right, so Dorothy, do you need a hand? Robert, you probably do because of the code. So actually, while everyone else is deciding if you need a hand or not, Robert, can you share yours and I'll go ahead and do it for you in the code. Share your screen so that you can be at the same place. Because what we're going to do next is put the links in, and I can just do this piece for you. So share your screen. Okay. So I'm gonna ask to request remote control. Oh, you did it though. You got your about. What you didn't get rid of is your drop down. So I'm gonna go ahead and help you get rid of the drop down portion. So I'm gonna go down here and I'm starting where it starts saying drop down and I'm ending where it ends saying drop down. So the whole drop down thing over there, I'm just gonna hit the delete key and get rid of it. There you go. And there's one little extra little icon. So you're fine. Other than that, you again, it's not showing, right? Which is
Right.
bizarre, but it's gone. It's gone also from the DOM. So I figure at some point it's going to be gone from here as it did before. So I'm just refreshing and saying file, save all, and it did before happen that it stopped showing up. So just ignore it as if it weren't there, because it's gone from the code and it's gone from your DOM. Oh, it showed up in the DOM again. It happened before, so this is a glitch. But anyway, it's gone from your code, so just ignore it. We know last time that when you closed and opened up, it was gone. But what you do have is you have one about too many. See, like that? So over here, we can take that last about, right, that one, and I'm going to hit and delete that one as well. So unfortunately, it's not going to show up as deleted because of what's happening, but you know that you've got the right one. So now when you are done with this one, this decides to refresh. Oh, there you go. It decided to refresh.
Yep.
There you go. See, this time it did refresh. Now you have
Yay.
your about, your portfolio, and your contact. Okay. So
Perfect.
cool.
But it doesn't show on the
Stop.
DOM, right?
It did show as gone in the DOM, but it didn't show. It didn't click and show. No, it's still not doing that. So I just went directly to your code. Dorothy, how about you? Did you get your three? Did you get your 3 abouts?
Well, no, I've got a double, one on top of the other.
Give me a quick share and we'll see into that. And okay, so you have, yeah, some stuff happened here. You got the anchor copied, but not the whole list item. Okay, so can you try a Control Z and see if that last one disappears?
Well, I had about twice like that too, so.
Okay, so try a Control Z a few times and see if we back up from what's happening. So Control Z again, and then Control Z. There we go. So now you're at home about portfolio. So you're fine. So now what you need is one more. So now go back to the DOM and not on the A, but on the LI, the list item one above. Click right there. Click on that one, yeah. And then say duplicate. Cool.
Okay.
And now go up to that one and it's another portfolio, right click in or just double click in there and call that one contact. And there you go. Now you're fine. Okay, perfect. Good job. Sometimes something that's easy for me to show is easier if you just share, because then I can easily tell you where we got. Okay, so now everyone, I'm counting on that you all have all of your little links in there, but now we need to make them work. Now we had made them work. I'm counting on the fact that everyone had made them work before. And if you look in your code, I mean, you need to do this with code. you already had the actual home button working really well because you had told the Ahref to go to index.html, remember? So over here, when you look at these class items, the one that says about, portfolio, and contact, all you need is to write in, the Ahref is going right now to just template stand-in, which is this little hashtag, or in old timers called it the numbers icon, right? So all you need to do is here in the Ahref, it says index HTML, about HTML, portfolio HTML. So you can either write them in here and make a mistake, or you can copy them from here and paste them in there. So I'm going to go ahead and get the about HTML, and I have to choose either I grab the quotes or I don't grab the quotes, right? But you can't grab one and not the other because the quotes are already here. So I can also start writing it because Dreamweaver is going to help me. If I write about, it's asking me, do you want to go to about HTML? And I click on that and it enters the whole thing. So that little thing right there need to be replaced. So you need to select it. You can't leave it in there. And you can either copy from here and paste, or Dreamweaver very helpfully, since it already existed before, I can write this page doesn't exist. I'm sorry. The about existed, which is why it helped me, but this one doesn't exist. So I can write portfolio.html, or I can go in here and copy from there and paste it in there, portfolio HTML. It helped me with the about because we did create the about page. Remember, it's there, but the contact and portfolio don't exist. So I need to take that word and paste it in there. So now we've made these active links. The only one that's missing is the home, where that needs to be replaced by index and HTML. So I can write index, and there it is. It gives me the choice to select. So now I have these icons are now as good, and they will take me to the same places as these did. So now that this is completely valid and necessary. Okay. I have one last nav item here that I don't know if you guys have, but it's a leftover that shouldn't be there. So I'm going to just get rid of it. So at the end of all my 4, I have one more in there. And I also see it here, like kind of lost at the bottom of my DOM. So I'm just going to delete that one. Now my nav bar is complete. Let's go ahead and test it before we delete the other one. So let's go File, Save All. And now I'm going to go File, Real-Time Preview, and let's test it. And let me see. Does the about take me to about? Yes, it does. Okay, but the problem here is that my about page does not have that new nav bar. See that? So I have to click on the old home to take me back home. But over here, my home is working and my about is working. I need to copy that whole bar in here when I'm done. But for now, I'll use my old link to get me back. Okay, so once I have this up and running, I can get rid of my old one, and then I can copy that code into my about page. Does that make sense, you guys? But I'm not done with it yet. I'm going to color it differently, do a few more things before I bother putting it into my about page. But more importantly, I want to see if in real life it's turning, yes, it did work. It's working as a responsive nav bar. And it's also working. It's working when it's small and it's working when it's big. So, okay, so you might have not done the real-time preview. You might still be stuck here changing the names. Okay, so now tell me where you are and where you need help. If you changed the hrefs for all of these and you're fine. If you're stuck at changing the hrefs for the home, about, portfolio, and contact, if that's where you're at, let me know. Tell me where you're at. Give me a little, I clear your answers. Give me a thumbs up. Let's change it to a little blue. No, A little, I don't know, I never told you where to get the thumbs up from. To the right of the yes, there's a little more with 3 dots that gives you a little thumbs up. You give me a thumbs up with that just to change things. Otherwise, give me a yes, I don't care. If all your buttons are up and running, and if they're not, Dorothy, okay, do you want to share your screen and let me see where you're at? Okay, so down there, you've got your about and your portfolio. The
I've got
colors have the colors changed. Yeah, so something things up because the colors are wrong. So you're missing the closing A. Yeah. So basically the top one is fine. And then here, what you did is you brought in the whole A anchor href. Okay, so look at the portfolio one right now. Go to the portfolio one. Okay, yeah, that one. So the href is fine, but the A and the opening anchor is unnecessary in there. So go in front of the href, go to the word href. No, you were almost there. No, that one's fine. Yeah, that one. You added that one that you don't need. So click in there and then backtrack and take the A. Yeah, the A and that little angle, the anchor bracket. Get rid of the anchor bracket too. One more delete. One more, hit your backspace one more time. You need to get rid of that anchor bracket that you have in front of the H. And now put a space in there because you need a space in between.
Okay.
Okay, good. And that one's working. And now you, the same thing with your contact. You brought that little, you copied a bit, the whole href. So go click and get rid of that little anchor bracket. And then make a little space again to bring it back. Oh, you have 2 hrefs there too. You have to get rid, there you brought the whole href. Okay, so now you have to keep going back and delete. You have a whole extra href in there. So keep going back like 5 or 6 times until you get rid of that whole extra href. There we go. Now click away and I think you should be, oh, you have 2 contacts. You just replaced, okay, you just got, what you did is you went to the bottom and you got the whole href contact, HTML contact tied in there. And really all you needed to bring was that. So you need to just repeat the doubles. So now go up and delete, go to the word contact.
This one or this one?
The last one, put your cursor in front of the C, in front, behind, like go back in front of the C, like to the left of the C. Yeah. And now delete a bunch of times until we get to the other C. You want to delete all the way back to get rid of the second word. Yeah, one more up. There you go. Perfect. Now it's working. Now your links should be working.
So what part was I supposed to copy down here?
Just the contact.html, just the contact.html, or you should have written it. Just the link itself, the web page contact.html, not the entire href, just contact.html. That's all.
Oh,
which is what now you have up there.
In the quotes, the one in the quotes.
Yeah. Now you still have some funky stuff going up there. So, and you still have that little yeah, you have the last LI list that right under contact. Do you see how you have one more list item that we don't need? Right under that, the next one under on line 22, you can delete that whole thing. Yeah, get rid of that, delete that. I'm not sure if everyone did that to clean it up, you guys. I'm
having problems too.
Okay, I'm trying to clean it up because I'm seeing up there that you still have, maybe you just need to go and save and let's see if it refreshes, because right now you're still showing something wrong and I need to see. Oh, yeah, there it refreshed and it's fine. Cool, you're good. Who else spoke? Robert?
Yeah, problems.
Go ahead and share.
Okay.
Go ahead and share.
Yes.
Now for the rest of you guys, make sure to go and do a real-time preview to see if your nav bar is now being responsive. Okay, Yours seem to be working fine, so I don't know, where do you see
Well-
that yours isn't?
Well, the about did fine, but the portfolio and contact just gave me a blank screen.
Yeah,
the-
because if you look at your files, we did not ever create yet a portfolio or a blank HTML. We didn't create that file yet.
So it's working.
Okay.
Okay.
So it's working perfectly fine. Yours is working perfectly fine. Now, what I want us to do now is to maybe get to the place where you can create that. There's a couple more things I was hoping to do, but I'm tempering my expectations. Yes,
Can you just look at mine quickly? Because I think I
Sure.
probably
go
am
for it.
there.
Share your screen. Okay.
So
Home
this-
about portfolio contact. You still have a drop down list item there that you need to get rid of, and the one that's just a loose little list item. So both of those. Yeah, get rid of those two. Hit return. Okay, and then right next to your portfolio and your contact, you have the little and NBSP, which is just like a space. See down in the code. Look at where you wrote portfolio. Go to where you wrote portfolio, the white letters. Yeah, and see how after the word portfolio you have a little ampersand NBSP. That's a space. Yeah, go to the end of your so yeah, that one. Get rid of that. Yeah, click right there and yeah, delete that. Yeah. Hit delete.
all of
And
them?
then same thing under contact. Get rid of that. You have one also under contact. And that's a little and that you added. Yeah. And you've got still a little semicolon you need to get rid of there. Get rid of that little semicolon. There we go. So there you go. Scroll up a little bit, but I think you're fine. And your code. I need to look at your code a little bit more. And did you get your home index HTML? Yes, you did. Cool. You're perfect. Save.
All right.
I'm stopping your sharing. You save your file. Okay. Little stuff like that you don't see, but that needs to be cleaned up that I just told her to clean up works like that. That was just a space she had added. But it turned into that whole little bit of code, the ampersand NPSB, that just means non-breaking blank space, something like that. Okay, so now we all have these little links. Let's make something else. Change. I'm trying to imagine what we can change quickly. Oh, navbar. Let's get rid of this word navbar. Put our company name. Like this would be a good place for a logo, for example. So let's say that instead of the word navbar, let's put
Can you share?
Yeah, not
oh thank you, Chris. I should have noticed that when you were kind of mumbling that you were trying to say to share. Thank you. A male voice who spoke up. So I was saying that next to home, about, and portfolio, we have the word navbar. So that could be where you would put a logo. And you know how when people hit on logo, they always expect to go home as well. So this is also a link. So we're going to go ahead and replace the word navbar with, you know, let's say, what could be the company name we have here? Website design, let's call it. Website designer, because you're creating a website. So let's put it on uppercase so it looks like a web design as one word to make it a little bit kind of look like if it's a logo name. But if you look where we wrote web design, down in the code on line 17, you see there's an href right there too. This is also a link. And say that we had, instead of putting in a word, and we're running a little bit out of time, but instead of putting a web in there, say we put in a little logo. So this could be a logo instead of a word. But click on that little hashtag and let's write also index.html in there, because when people click on the logo, they expect to go to the home page, and the home page is index.html. Okay, so I'm going to write again, I'm going to start writing index, and then when it gives me the choice, click on it so that it gives me index. So now I've completely made all of these pages work, and thus the bottom ones are unnecessary anymore. See that? Because these are supposedly working. So after I've added the index.html into my web design company name, right? Then I want to go and get rid of all of the code for the original 4 words, which are in my header. It's the second nav. It's the nav that I created, which for me, it's on page 29. And now I don't need this anymore. So I can select it from there, or I can go over here in the DOM, as long as you get the right nav, not the new nav, but the old nav, the one that was inside my header. Okay, select that and delete that. Okay, oh, thank you. So hit a little delete over there, and I'm going to wait until you guys find it before I delete mine. But I'm just trying to get rid of that one that we had used originally to make links. And now that we created our responsive one, we don't need it anymore, so we can just hit a delete. Okay, so I'm going to hit the delete key there in the code, and I'm left with a header that has nothing in it. I have a header opener and closer tab with nothing in it, and we're going to use this to put our logo in there. But meanwhile, we've cleaned up all of these words, should not be there anymore. Now, this is going to be a problem if right now we try to test this. This is not going to be a problem, but if we get rid of this nav in the other about page, it's going to be a problem if we don't add this code. Okay, so we're going to have to find a way to open the other page, replace the code with this code. Okay, does that make sense? So let's go save all and tell me where you're at. Did you get rid of the old nav bar, the one that was just 4 little words that was not responsive? Did everyone get rid of that one?
Yes.
And if you did, then the header should be an opener and a closer and nothing else. And what we want to do now is we want to select this entire nav bar. And so right under body where it says nav, if you collapse it, that's the entire nav bar, right? So you can either understand code and go from here to here, opening nav to closing nav, or you can go click on the nav bar over here and then find it in your DOM and just over here, right click and copy. Okay, so right click and copy that, or go over here, select it all, right click and copy. But somehow or another, I want you to copy the entire new nav, tag, which is our entire nav bar. Okay, so right click and copy from here, or find it in your DOM, right click and copy there. So once you have copied it, and I know that you have it, now let's go and open our about. So go over, if you're still in the insert tab, go to your files, go to your about, and let's open our about HTML. Okay, so we were going to double click on about, and now I've opened our about. And once you've opened your about HTML, what we're going to do here is we're going to replace. So this is once, you know, and I was going to style it and make it prettier and whatnot, but right now I just want to get it in. But once you know that it's the final logo, a nav bar with the right colors and everything, I'm looking at the time. So with respect to that, I'm not changing the colors or anything, because I want to show you actually something more important, which is the responsiveness. So now I'm going to go into my about. Again, I'm going to get rid of the nav bar that's there. Okay, which I don't need anymore. I'm going to select it and delete it. And then I'm going to make sure to go one out. I don't want to have it in the header. I want to have it one above the header. So right under body, same place I had it before. I'm going to right click and paste. And this is going to be a problem because it's the issue that I'm having. It's not bringing It's okay. We know that the issue has to do with not being able to bring the. Is it, for those of you who are at home, is it bringing the right nav bar or is it bringing just this stuff?
It's bringing that stuff.
So that's weird. It's weird that it's not. This normally shouldn't be happening. It should be bringing the whole. Yeah, I don't know why it's doing that. It should be bringing in the same nav bar because this is all being affected by the same CSS. Oh, I know. And okay, forget it. As soon as I spoke it, I remembered, no, this new page doesn't have the whole head. And in the header here, I didn't bring in in the about page in the head, I don't have all of the bootstrap link to the bootstrap and all the other stuff. So go ahead and let's go back to the index page. And there's something else we need to copy here. We need to go to the head and we need to bring in this link. For me, it's on page 13, which is the whole bootstrap link. Okay. So you need to bring that one in. You need to copy that. So right click, copy, or Control C for copy in the index page. And then now let's go into the about HTML and we're going to do the same thing. Right before the head closure, I can put my cursor in here and hit return so that I have a clean space and I'll paste that in there. So this is that bootstrap component. And then hopefully when I say save, it should all refresh. Yeah, there it is. Okay, so now it's all working because I was brought in the code, but I didn't bring in the link to the bootstrap CSS, which is the one that tells it how to look. Okay, so remember I have the link to I have the CSS that I had before in mine. Then we brought in the fonts, but I didn't bring in the bootstrap. So now that I brought that one in, now my about page looks good. Did that work for you?
Yes.
And if,
Yeah.
okay. All right, so Dorothy, give me a, go ahead and save all. Give me a share of your screen, Dorothy, so I can help you. So basically I had to copy not just the nav bar, but I also had to bring in the CSS link. So here we are. You're doing fine here. You've deleted your other stuff, which is good. So now what you're missing is, what you're missing is the about page, because over here in the files, instead of opening the website, you just opened the page. So let's go see if we can find it. Let me go save. Sorry, go ahead and save this page, please. File save, say save all. Actually, no, not save as. We don't want to create a new one. So cancel out of that. You have to say cancel first. You can't, this window that opened up, you need to cancel out. So go ahead and say save all. Yeah, okay. Now, what we need to do is, let me show request remote control here for a minute. And over here, let me see if I can find your page. Is it Dorothy's new website? Is this the one that we're working with? Is this the one we're working with, Dorothy? Yeah. Do you know? Is this the one that has all of these pages, the Dorothy's new website? Is that the right one? Let's see if I can have a refresh here. The local folder does not exist. Please select a new local folder. So it would seem to me that this index file, how did you open it? Where did you find it to open it today? I'm hovering over it. See how it already tells me. Just by hovering over this index file, it tells me that it's in the document. I have to stay there to read it. SPCC class files, 2020 Dreamweaver class files. No, yeah, hover over the word index. Yeah, close that search. We don't need that. Yeah, so hovering with your mouse over the index name here, see how when I hover over that, it's telling me? It says it's in Dreamweaver class files 2, Dorothy first site, index HTML. So that's where it is. I'm trying to remember it so that I can go find it. Dreamweaver class files, drive files 2. So let's see over here if we can find it. So I'm gonna go, can you open your Finder, please? Go open your Finder window from your dock or something so we can go find this. So go down to your dock and click on a Finder window so that we can try and find. Maybe you're not sharing your Finder window. If you're seeing it, I'm not seeing it. You're probably just sharing you're just probably only sharing this window with me and not your whole Finder window. So I need you to change your share. I can't see anything. You're gonna have to change your share. Go to up there where it says share, say new window, new share. Go up to your share on top and say new share. I can't see that. You need to do that. And then change the window that you're sharing to be your entire desktop. So perfect. Well, now you're showing only this. If you, instead of choosing one window, if you share your desktop, then I'd see both. But okay, that's fine. Now where did you, I think you had them. Was it in?
Here, I don't remember where I put them.
Was it in your downloads? Oh, I lost track. That's why I wanted to see both at the same time. Does anyone else remember? I lost track. I need to see both at the same time. I need to see the Dreamweaver to tell me where it is before I can find the files. I think you had it there in the 1 terabyte drive, didn't you? Go back. You need to show me Dreamweaver. I can't. You have to go and do a new share and show me both the whole desktop so I can see Dreamweaver and your Finder window at the same time. You don't need to close this window. You just need to go up and do a new share because right now you're showing an individual window, which means I can't see your Dreamweaver. And if I'm seeing your Dreamweaver, I'm not seeing your Finder. So go up to the top and say new share and choose. Now you're sharing the Zoom window. There we go. And do your, hold on. Just do desktop. Yeah. Do you have two desktops or 2 windows, or do you have just 1 window?
I don't know. I might have 2 of them open. I'm not sure.
But meaning, do you have 2 monitors or something like that?
I have one monitor, but I might have more than 1 window.
All right. So I can see one or the other, but not both. So if you just leave it on desktop 1, okay, leave it on desktop 1. And can you minimize Zoom to see if I can see underneath it? I don't know if you can. Go to Zoom. Let me see if I can click on minimize that. You cannot minimize when you're sharing. Aha. I can't minimize when you're sharing. Okay, this is frustrating. Let me see if I can share. Let's go back to the Dreamweaver then, because I can't seem to share your entire screen for some weird reason. Okay, so now what I was trying to find is where you might have it. You have it in documents. It's in your documents folder, see? It's in your documents folder under SPC class files, Dreamweaver class files. That's where it is. Okay, so I'm gonna go to manage your, go up here, up at the top of this and say manage your website. This was
it's in the way. I can't see
it. Manage sites. You can't see it if you move it down. Just find the word site and manage sites. Can you see the word site?
No, the share window.
Okay, so I'm going to stop your sharing. I'm stopping the sharing, and then you go. Can you see it now? Can you see your? It says File, Edit, View, Insert Tools, Find Site, and under that you see Manage Sites. Can you see that now?
Where is it again? Say again.
Okay, let me share my screen so I can show you what I'm looking at. Sorry guys, give me one more second here, one more chance. See, File, Edit, View, Insert Tools, Find Site, Manage Sites.
Find site. Oh,
It's
okay. I found it.
okay. So say go to Manage Sites.
Okay,
All
I'm
right.
there.
So now that you're there, share your screen because I couldn't have you open that. So share your screen so I can fix you. Okay, guys. This is pretty emblematic of the issue of the root folder, the missing root folder. You can't just open the index file. And kind of like one of the first, go ahead and share your screen meanwhile while I'm talking. When you can't see your files here, you're working only on one file. Dorothy, are you sharing your site?
Yes, which window do you want me to open? The one that says Dreamweaver
Hey,
Manage Site?
Yeah, that one. The manage sites, the one that you just, thank you. So we need to reset these files. So you need to go down to the little pencil item. That's right. Keep going down, down, down. There's a little pencil edit. Yeah. Click on that. Oh, it's probably opening in another window. I don't know why you can't share everything. So do you have a little window, a browser that opened up? Go to your documents and find the site. It's so weird that you're only you can only share window by window. Do you see a browser? Did a browser pop up?
Yeah, it says site set up for Dorothy's new website.
Okay, so go find
Save.
the folder. It's in your documents under Dreamweaver class files. You need to click the folder that's holding it and then say done, and then all your files will appear. But if you can't share with me, I don't know how to help you find it. So, you know what?
No, I've got it.
You know what? I'm going to stop your sharing. I'm going to finish up the class and then I can help you, Dorothy, because everyone's kind of waiting for you to find this. And I don't know why your sharing is only available to share one window. And unless I can keep following through with the windows that pop up, it's really hard to help you. So I stopped your sharing. Let me finish this up. And then I'll sit here without everyone waiting and help find your root folder. Okay. Is that all right?
Yep.
Okay.
Good, thank you.
No, that's fine. Okay, so let me share this thing again. This is mine I'm sharing right now. Okay, so guys, here's the deal. We got the about to have the same information at least than this one. So now let's close it, right? Because you kind of don't. So I'm going to go over here and close it. And if you didn't yet save, it'll say, please save. And then now up here in the files, I needed to work in here, which is why I wanted Dorothy to find it, but I couldn't help her find it. But hopefully everyone, if you go to your files, you should see your files in here. What I want to do is I want to duplicate now the about file. And sorry, you can't click on the name, or just click on this here and it doesn't do that. Right click. And oh, it's not going to help me edit and duplicate. And after we duplicate it, it says about copy. We can right click on it or just click on it one time and call this one portfolio HTML. And then we can duplicate that one again, edit, duplicate, and then click in there one more time and call this one contact. Okay, so now we have created the 4 files that we need. The thing is that when I open this one, it'll say about. When I open this one, it'll say contact. So I'm going to double click on portfolio, open it up. And instead of about, I'm going to click in here and I'm going to call this one portfolio. And then save that. close it. And then I'm going to double click on contact, open that, and set the about and say contact. Okay, so in the end, obviously, each one of these pages should have, you know, different material, but that's what's going to tell us that we're in the right page, and then close it. So right now I have 4 pages, my home page that has a little bit more design on it, my about, my portfolio, and my contact. But, oh, I made a mistake. Look what I did. I called them portfolio with uppercase, and in my code, I had written portfolio with lowercase, so that's not going to work. So I need to change this name down to contact and update, and then this one, change it to lowercase, and when I hit return, it updates. Okay, so now that's going to work. Before with updates, it wasn't recognizable. So now that I have these named exactly the same way as my links are named, I can go and do a save all, file save all, and I'm just doing this really quick and then I'll help you guys get there. And then say file real-time preview on Chrome. And now here I'm in the home page, but if I go to contact, it takes me to contact. If I go to portfolio, it takes me to portfolio. About takes me to about. Home takes me home. Contact, if I hit web design, it also takes me home. If I'm in home, I shouldn't notice much difference. But if I'm in contact and I hit the logo, it takes me back to index, as much as index takes me to index. And then all of these take me to each one. So how I created these, once you have the basic coding for it, then you can copy them, because right now each one of these has the same heading, the same links. All the links have been created ahead of time, even though the pages didn't exist. And now we're kind of set. This is like a website with 4 pages. Of course, truly, when you get into contact, you would have different information in here. When you get into portfolio, you have different information in here. And each one of these, you would have different information. But then you have a functioning site, and all of them, if you make them smaller, they end up having the responsive menu, okay? And the responsive material in here that works for getting. We didn't get to put much more material in here, but anyway, we've got a beginning. And if I click on this button, come on, don't fail me here. Hello. That one's working. I don't know why this one's not working. And these work from here. And yet when I make it smaller, that one, oh, there we go. That one's working now. I can go over to contact from here. But from contact, it doesn't seem to be expanding. So I don't know why from contact it's not expanding, but it's working from here. If I go to about, is the about one working? Okay, so I would have to go and see why the smaller version isn't working on the other screens, but the bigger one is working. Okay, I'm going to stop right there. I'm going to ask you guys to tell me where you're at so that we can all complete at least this portion of it. For those of you who are just kind of waiting for me to help with that, I just wanted in the header, I was hoping to bring in a logo. Okay, so just as a quick thing, if you go to insert, go back to HTML, and we're going to insert the logo. So we're going to insert an image. And if you go to images, we had in the drive file stream, for those of you who had brought in all the things in the shared drives, Dreamweaver, I had that logo there. Dreamweaver class files, that little logo, and that logo. I was going to say yes, and put it into the images. And so anyway, those of you who are following, here's the little logo. Oh, this is the wrong one. This is the PNG one. I wanted to show you the SVG. Okay, well, so much for showing you that really quickly. I wasn't This, I wanted the SVG instead of the PNG. PNG is the one that you guys don't have. If you go into the files that you first downloaded under sample files, you do have the logo in there. Okay. Let me help you get to this place. And show me some of your files. We have reached the end of the class. And I wanted to do a little bit more today, but what we did is what we did. We got the whole 4 pages working. Tell me if you got your 4 pages working. And if you did not, I'll help you create those 4 new pages. And yeah, I understand if you need to leave, leave, but if you need a hand, kind of an ignominious ending to not say goodbye to everyone. But anyway, tell me where you're at. Have you finished your 4 pages? Give me a yes. If you did finish your 4 pages, then send me a little quick screenshot of your files here with your 4 pages after class. And then that's all. Any questions? Anyone who
Deanna,
needs
you
help
want
getting your
4
4 pages?
screenshots?
No, if you just show me a screenshot where you show me here, if you show me this, a screenshot where you show me this area right there, where I see your 4 files, then whichever one you have here is good enough, and I'll know that the other 4. If you did them after this, they should work. If you want to give me one more with one of the other ones, that's fine. But this tells me that you did it. And if you did it with me, I know that it has the right bar because you did them after the right moment. So that should be enough for me to know that you've done it.
All right.
Thank you, Leland, for asking. Okay, so by the way, I might be seeing some of you guys in the new Illustrator and Photoshop classes that start tomorrow. But if I don't, then goodbye, but you don't need to leave yet. If you want to ask me something about your sites or if you want me to help you, please stay. I just want to make sure that people who need to leave are feeling okay about leaving because it's time to leave. So anyone want to share with me something or show me something? Or ask me something?
Tomorrow.
Thank you.
No?
See you tomorrow.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're
I'll see you tomorrow
welcome.
too, Deanna.
Bye.
Everyone will see you tomorrow. Right, so it looks like maybe only Dorothy is the only one who might need some help. So bye to everyone else. And so Dorothy, want to share your screen again and let's see if I can help you. Sorry, I had to stop you there because I felt like I was like, not finishing up the class.
Isn't this the last class?
This is the last class, yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
That's why I wanted to get back to say goodbye and close it up because it felt like I was trying to fix, class was over and I was trying to help you and I wasn't paying attention to the whole class's ending. So, okay, you want to share your screen really quickly and I'm going to do my best to see if I can help you.
Yeah, I don't
Get
know.
that root folder. Just shut up your, show your Dreamweaver page.
Oh. The index, okay. Do you see all the other pages that are on top of it?
Oh, good. Now I see them all. Yes. Before I was only able to see one at a time and that was what was frustrating. Now I can see them all.
Yeah, I just have to move them out of the way, then you can see them.
Okay, good. So now, cool. All right. So basically what we needed to do was to find your folder, which there they are. Now you found them. They are in the documents. There's your Dorothy's first website. Let's look and see if this index is the one that we're working on today. Here's the index today at 8:08 p.m. So yeah, that is the right one. If I close it, what comes with me? Okay, so there's that other stuff. Okay, so that is the right folder. So now we can say choose. Okay, right there. And then this one now we can say done. Oh, this one comes next. So basically here we found it. We gave it the right thing. So we say save. And then now it's going to redirect all the cache to that one. And then we're going to say done. Good. Now here, there you have your files.
Magic.
Okay. I wish I'd been able to do this with everyone so they could see. It was a simple fix, but I couldn't see your file, so I couldn't fix it for you. And everyone could see how they might have thought it was a complicated fix, but it wasn't. It was just finding your root folder again. Which anyway, that was a pity, but never mind. Now I'm going to put, I'm trying to move. Oh, I was trying to move this pixels. Why is it doing that to me? It goes dark. I was trying to move this into the images, but I ended up doing something else. So I'm trying to move that says Pete Johnson. I'm trying to move it out of there. I moved it into the wrong place. I can't, it goes blank. See this thing that says Pexels Pixabay that I dropped in by mistake into the JavaScript folder? Drag it out of there and put it into images, or that'll mess up your file. And I can't seem to do it. So put your mouse over Pexels Pixabay and drag it into the images folder. I don't see your mouse. Oh, wow, it's doing it to me too. Okay, and now say update to the window that showed up. Cool. And then go up to the above at Pexels Steve Johnson, a little bit higher up, and drag that one into images. Yeah, oh, from the image, yeah, drag it into images. Cool. So now that's a clean site, and now you can close this again and not need to worry about it because you don't need to look in there. And now your site is working fine. And now close images. So this about is the one that we went in there. And so I don't know how far we got into getting rid of your, did we get rid of your other nav items? Yes, we did. So then you can select this entire nav right there. Copy that. Go ahead and copy that. Actually, you also need to copy. Yeah, go ahead and copy that. Right click and copy. Okay, just give it a little quick right click copy. Okay, your mouse all over this selected area. It needs to be over the selected blue area. I don't know where your mouse was. Put it over the selected blue area before you do a copy again. Yeah, try again, just in case to make sure the right thing got copied. Right click and copy. Okay, now go over to the right side. This is what we're trying to do, and go to your about file and open it up. So yeah, go to the little icon right on, yeah, double click to open it up. You need, yeah. Okay, and now in here, go down to your code, go down to where it says nav now, go from nav to nav in your header here and delete that. Basically from line 12 to line, yeah, to line 17. Yeah, hit your delete key. And then move up to line 10 where it says body, and then hit a return, and we're going to put it, yeah, return, and then now say paste. Okay. Now, there's one more thing missing. Go back to your index. Yeah, and we got to copy one more line of code, which is the line that you have on line 9. Your whole link to your Bootstrap CSS has to be copied. Yeah, so copy that whole thing, right click and copy, or control copy, or, you know. Yeah, you need to select it.
Yeah, it's not selecting here.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, so now right click, put your tip of your mouse over it before you right click and copy, or Command C or Control C, whatever you do to copy. Command C.
I did.
Okay, good. So now go to About, which you'll find on top. Cool. And then in the head, go, basically it was above that. So between 6 and 7. So go to the end of 6, give it a little return and put it in there. A little return and paste. Okay, and now go and save, and hopefully the whole thing save all. There we go. Now you got your Okay. All right. So now that you're done, you can close the about. Close your about file from the top.
Just close
Yeah.
it. Okay.
And then on the right side under files, I just right clicked and duplicated the about file. You can duplicate it 2 more times. So right click, edit, edit. Yeah, and duplicate.
Well, copy or duplicate?
Well, it says duplicate. Go to right click again, right click, edit, and
Oh, duplicate.
duplicate. And then duplicate it 1 more time.
So how about the top one?
Whichever, duplicate one of those 1 more time. It doesn't matter which.
Oh, okay.
Cool. And now one of the 2 that are duplicates, click on it and change the name to portfolio, and the other one change the name to contacts. So yeah, the one that says copy, put your name in there, click 1 more time. We didn't want to open it, so it's not about double clicking on it. But anyway, if you did, that's fine. I just wanted to change the name, but go ahead and change that about that you see in there since you opened it, go ahead and right click. Delete that and change it to portfolio or contacts, one of the 2. Okay, now you can't change the name while it's open. So save it and close it, and then, yeah, save. Okay, close that one, and it's the one that just says about copy. Close that file from that little X. Yeah. No, in just the name. So you can click 1 more time, but not on just on the word about. Click 1 more time on the files. Go up to the files. Yeah, down to the one that is highlighted. To the one that's highlighted. There's one down. No. You were exactly where you were, but just 1 file down. Yeah, not there, but from the word now about. Go into the word. Go, yeah, and now click 1 time. The name. There you go. And now call that one portfolio, because that's the one that you changed to portfolio. Okay, good. And now hit return. And now the bottom of the bottom, click 1 time. No shift. So click away and try it again. Click 1 time on the name. Now call that one contact. Okay, return. And now, yes, double click on it to open it up and change that main word that'll say about, change it to contact. Okay, hit return. Cool. And now you can close that. And now save all. So go ahead and close that, and then go and save all. And now go in, you can close that. Yeah, and then go to your index, and then those style sheets don't need to be open. So I don't know why you have your style sheets open there, but anyway. And go ahead and go to preview now, and let's see your pages all linked together. Oh, I can't see your preview. But if you're seeing it, go ahead and click on the stuff and see if it's working.
Yep, it's working.
Okay, cool.
Okay, what do we do about the web design logo? Let's go find a logo.
I didn't. I stopped because class was over. So yeah, put in
I'll
your own logo.
I'll play around with that somehow. I
Yeah.
don't know how everything got disconnected. It was fine before. I even had an about page, but then everything disappeared.
Yeah. No, it's fine now. You just the root folder was missing, and so that's what caused those little problems. But other than that, everything's good. All right. I gotta go and have dinner with my family, see what's happening with the debate, and prepare my classes for tomorrow. So,
Now, 9 o'clock tomorrow, does it start?
yep.
Oops,
See you at 9. Take
All
care
right.
then. Bye.
Bye, thank you.
You're welcome.